Can't find the wife's contact info to tell her. Coming to terms with it all. TLDR. I couldn't find the wife's contact info. Will this just figure itself out? Why do I need for them to find out? It's not like he wants me after all of that. Do you have any experience of this happening? It's not like he will leave her, or that I want him. A little over a week ago, I reunited with some old acquaintances and friends in my artist community from my formative years. We followed our careers and dreams, and those who moved came back to celebrate our friend's birthday and an unconventional baby announcement. I, 34F, went alone, and so did this friend of mine, M. Just discovered he's at least 15 years older than me. After dinner, we all went out and he was touchy and overtly hitting on me, grabbing me and playing games with me. I went for it as well, danced with him, went along with the cat and mouse, in front of all of our longtime friends. Eventually we were sitting next to each other, and he kept asking me if I'd like to come home with him, if I was ready to go. I kept saying yes, and he kept asking. So finally, I was like, yeah, let me get my stuff. We left, and had a really messy and lustful hookup, unprotected. We were both drunk. His schlong didn't work for long, but it was fun. He was so generous in bed. And I woke up next morning with a huge hangover. He darted up to shower, which I felt was strange, like we could have had some morning smashing or something, especially since we were sober again. Either way, we started chatting, but I was pretty out of energy and was putting this whole night together. Whilst chit-chatting about his new work and headquarters, then he said, "My wife." And I interrupted, "You're not single? You're open?" And completely neutral, he replied, "No, I'm married and have a toddler." I was blown away and let my emotions get the best of my reaction, felt horrible, used, all sorts, but also not to blame. But also, what did I actually even know about this guy? I mean, he came on to me all night, without reservations, and invited me to come over. I thought it meant he was single. He then said, "We're having problems," and I was like, well, this is still your problem, and tried to act interested enough in the rest of what he had to say, but started to leave to get breakfast. I shut down. I had nothing else to say. I got my things to leave and noticed some hand restraints and blindfold, and I made a face like, "What's this?" And he said he wanted to pull them out at some point. So he traveled with them? Or bought them, etc. It was a lot to take in. He's also in a position of power in our community. Pretty upset that no one around me said a thing. But I guess people just stick to their own, and people were all drinking and self-consumed. Still felt weird he was so open about this. She is connected with the community as well. The excuse had me ruminating, since he probably is acting in accordance with how he feels in this situation, and I wish I could hold space for his inabilities to sort out his situation. I just don't think being drunk is enough of an excuse to cheat. Like there shouldn't be an excuse. Also, it was so nonspecific. Like a dead bedroom? What's going on? As I left, he asked if I regretted it, and I was said, "Maybe we can talk about this another time." He kissed me goodbye. I also work with couples on their intimacy issues, so I felt very stumped to be thrown into this position. I felt like it wasn't my space to pry about what their exact issues are. Like, calculating that was to soothe my ego about him or the situation. When I got to processing things more, I was able to come up with better words to ask more about what was going on between them, and also talk about my background. And perhaps it wouldn't be too much, since I sat on his face. In the moment, I did not want to be his free therapist. What is right and wrong? The psychology of a cheater freaked me out. I was feeling wrong for my reaction, and just the instantaneous nature of it all. We live time zones away. He just goes back to his bad marriage, and I am burdened to tell. Although another time this happened to me, it backfired. A guy I was dating had a girlfriend all along, so I sent her screenshots of all of our convos, intimate moments, etc., and she said I was faking it all. This time I have no evidence. And part of me knows telling would come from a place of me wanting to seek justice in a righteous way, because I felt burned and shamed and used. I wanted him to hurt as well. I wanted him to fix things with her. I was mad for all this proved and didn't prove. I also felt humiliated since everyone around us was in on this. I was hoping maybe someone would tell her from the party, but again they didn't see us banging. I just couldn't turn back time. I couldn't get proper closure from getting more info on the whole situation, so I had to see it for what it was. I was slept with by deception. We were both drunk. It was unprotected, and he blatantly cheated. I got some friend's perspective, and I should try to tell her for her own safety and to expedite whatever they are going through. Either get them talking or help her find her motivation to move forward. Not to mention get tested. He had miscellaneous accessories to cheat and also screwed me without protection. She has no Instagram or social media, so I thought I'd email or mail a letter. She works in a lab, and so I couldn't find her email or address. At this dead end, I had to call into question my motivation. It was time to let things take their course and detach. It was definitely to help her, not to spite him. He will get caught? All cheaters get caught eventually? He's bound to be inspired to talk to her? I know it is not my responsibility anymore.